Hello and greetings from RPGmodsFan. I have broken up my walkthrough, review, and discussion of the Traveler Highndry adventure into 3 parts. This is the third and last part. I would suggest watching the first 2 parts before watching this video. This video goes over the adventure's cast of characters, worlds, maps, and aliens. Hence, this video is appropriate for Game Masters only, and there will be spoilers ahead. As FYI, next week I will combine the 3 parts into one video and release it.
There are a number of non-player characters the travelers will interact with. However, the adventure hardly gives any details on any of them, leaving the game master to create their personalities, behaviors, and background. With the exception of the former crew of the Highndry, displayed on the screen, are the main NPCs the travelers will interact with. Actually, the only NPCs that are given any details are the former crew of the Highndry. They are obnoxious, loud-mouthed, offensive jerks who are now stewing in jail cells. They have made many enemies. Because of their actions, many throughout this sector of space hold grudges against them. Thus, in future adventures, if they are flying around in the Highndry ship, the Game Master can have the travelers run into people who are harboring a grudge against the previous crew. As another future adventure plot hook suggestion, you can have the former crew break out of jail and are now looking to hijack the Highndry spaceship from the travelers. The bureaucrat, Mr. Anders Kasarii, of the Imperial Interstellar Scout Services, serves as the quest giver for the adventure. Likewise, he can serve as the quest giver for any future adventures for the travelers. Michel Corelli is the captain of the Far Trader Type A2 class spaceship called the Autumn Gold. The ship is functional, but not luxurious. She and her mixed crew will get the travelers to planet Woolston. Before getting to Woolston, the Autumn Gold will make a stop at the planet designated as 567-908 in order to drop off a few crates of supplies for its starport. Due to often being contracted by the Imperial Navy, she and her crew have learned to be secretive and are tight-lipped and not too talkative. To make the journey more exciting, I would suggest adding a pirate raid during their trip. Alan Greener is Planet Woolston's Minister of Off-World Affairs, Public Relations, and Fisheries. He knows the location of the Highndry ship. He will not divulge its location until the travelers agree to complete the survey of Mount Salburii that the former crew of the Highndry failed to do. The former crew was already paid to do the survey, hence, Minister Greener is reluctant to offer any further compensation to the travelers. If the travelers insist, then Minister Greener is only willing to offer a flat fee of 3,000 credits upon completion of the job. The adventure does not give the mayor of Salburii town a name. The travelers' only interactions with the mayor will be via radio transmissions when Mount Salburii starts to erupt. The ruler of planet Woolston is Dictator Masterton. When the travelers make planetfall at Woolston, they will not have any interactions with the dictator, even if they were to pursue it. The only interactions with the dictator will be via radio transmissions when Mount Salburii starts to erupt. So, in this adventure, the so-called damsel in distress is the Highndry ship itself. Vessels operated by the Imperial Interstellar Scout Service are registered under a number rather than a name. The Highndry is officially designated IISS S001642C. The ship was originally built at a yard in Gushmidge sector. It has seen service in all 3 major branches of the Scout Service, which are exploration, survey, and communications. Though most of her time was spent on communications duty, hence the C on the end of her registry number. Quite some time ago, the ship was dubbed Highndry by her crew, and the name stuck. Though no one, now, in the IISS, know what the name refers to, nor the reasoning behind the title. The ship has acquired innumerable dents and dings, along with an incomprehensible number of minor modifications, and more. The Highndry has been part of the Scout Service's detached duty pool for decades now. Its crew can use the vessel for private use, with the understanding that the ship can be recalled to duty at any time. However, the Highndry has been quite abused by her last crew. A few months ago, the Highndry suffered a serious failure in her control electronics, which essentially rendered her drives useless. She was at that time parked in the crater of Mount Selburii, on Woolston. To the travellers, the Highndry is a gift horse. However, when they look at this gift horse's mouth, they will see it has only a few teeth. And the few teeth it does have are bad and rotting. The so-called villain of this adventure is Mount Selburii, which was at first thought to be an inactive volcano. The volcano's first tremor occurs when the travellers are halfway through their survey. The volcano then begins to erupt during the Highndry's test flight. So the volcano's activity is tied to certain story plot points in the adventure. To keep your players guessing, and to add suspense, and to make them think that the volcano's activity is random, as a game master, I would make fake dice rolls behind the GM screen. I will now walk through the adventure's various worlds and maps. Let us start with the adventure's hexagonal map, where each hex is a parsec, or 3.26 light years in length. The travellers begin on Flammarion. From there, they then travel to 567-908, a drab, dreary, and depressing planet. They then travel to Woolston, where the bulk of the adventure takes place in. Just as an aside, in Traveller, each 1 parsec jump takes 1 week of time to traverse. RPGmodsFan has modified this in his Traveller games, aka a house rule. In his games, each jump takes only 1 week, instead of depending on the number of parsecs traversed. As an example, if a Jump 3 capable ship jumps 3 parsecs, then the travel time is 1 week, instead of 3 weeks, under official Traveller rules. You will notice that the worlds on the map have the Traveller 8-digit Universal World Profile, or UWP, code, which gives a lot of information about them. I will go over only the 3 worlds the travellers will be on. Let us start with Flammarion. Flammarion star is an F8 primary star. The F means that it is a yellow-white star, which have surface temperatures ranging from 6000 to 7500 Kelvin. The 8 means the star burns near the lower range of the aforementioned temperature scale. As reference, Earth's Sun is a G2 primary star. Thus, Flammarion star is larger and burns hotter than Earth's Sun. Flammarion has a UWP code of A623514B. The first digit of A means Flammarion has an excellent starport facility, which, by the way, is called Starport Liberty, and it is where the travellers begin their adventure. The starport has all the expected amenities, including refined fuel for starships, brokerage services for passengers and cargo, and a variety of ship provisions. There is a shipyard capable of doing annual maintenance, overhauls, and other kinds of repair, and construction of both starships and non-starships. The second digit of 6 means Flammarion has a diameter of about 9,600 kilometers, whose gravity is low, at about 0.7 g. The third digit of 2 means Flammarion has a trace atmosphere. Hence, a vacuum suit is required when walking around outside on the planet's surface. The fourth digit of 3 means 26 to 35% of Flammarion's surface is covered by water. The fifth digit of 5 means Flammarion has a population that numbers in the hundreds of thousands. The sixth digit of 1 means Flammarion has a government run by a corporation. The seventh digit of 4 means Flammarion has a moderate law level, where most weapons, such as light assault weapons, submachine guns, all-energy weapons, etc., are banned, as well as body armor. The eighth digit of B means Flammarion is a tech level 11 world. The trade codes of PO and NI means that Flammarion is a poor non-industrial world. In addition, the world has an Imperial Navy base and a Scout Service way station. Next, let us look at the world designated as 567-908. Due to its low importance to the Imperium, it has not yet even been given a name. 567-908 is within a binary solar system. It orbits the larger star, which is a Category 3 giant star, named Larigii. Larigii is a K5 star. The K means that it is an orange star, which have surface temperatures ranging from 3500 to 5000 Kelvin. The 5 means the star burns near the middle range of the aforementioned temperature scale. 567-908 has a UWP code of E53200-0. The first digit of E means the world's starport is a frontier quality installation with few expected amenities. There is unrefined fuel for starships and a limited variety of ship provisions. There is no shipyard of any kind, but there may be parts and technical support for doing minor services and repair. The starport at 567-908 is operated by a few scout service personnel and some private contractors. The second digit of 5 means the planet has a diameter of about 8,000 kilometers, whose gravity is low, at about 0.45 g. The third digit of 3 means the planet has a very thin atmosphere. A respirator is needed in order to walk around outside on its surface. The fourth digit of 2 means 16 to 25% of 567-908's surface is covered by water. In other words, it is a dry planet. The fifth digit of 0 means the world is uninhabited. Actually, there are a few inhabitants who are tasked by the Imperium to operate the planet's rudimentary starport. The sixth digit of 0 means the world does not have a government. The seventh digit of 0 means the world has no law. The eighth digit of 0 means the planet is a tech level 0 world. The trade code of BA means that 567-908 is a barren world. Displayed on the screen is a map of 567-908's rudimentary starport facility. The Autumn Gold Far Trader spaceship will be stopping over for a day at the starport. The adventure already has a slow, boring start. This planet is also boring, hence the Game Master's players may get bored and disappointed. So, do not make this stop a waste of time. If the Game Master is going to run an extended Traveller campaign, then they should put in clues and hints of future adventures here. Otherwise, tell your players that after spending a day on the planet, they realize 567-908 is a drab, dreary, and depressing planet, and that the Autumn Gold is ready to depart. Woolston orbits Albin's star, which is an M2 primary star. The M means that it is a red dwarf star, which have surface temperatures ranging from 2000 to 3500 Kelvin. The 2 means Albin's star burns near the upper range of that temperature scale. Orbiting Albin's star are 5 rocky planets and 2 small gas giants, named Invise and Greenish. Woolston has a UWP code of C544338-8. The first digit of C means the Woolston starport is an average quality installation, which includes expected amenities, unrefined fuel for starships, some brokerage services for passengers and cargo, and a variety of ship provisions. There is a shipyard capable of doing maintenance and other kinds of repair. The second digit of 5 means the planet has a diameter of about 8,000 kilometers, whose gravity is low, at about 0.45 g. The third digit of 4 means the planet has a thin and tainted atmosphere. A filter mask is needed in order to function outside, on its surface, for an extended period of time. The adventure itself states, filter masks and thick clothing are needed when venturing outside. The fourth digit of 4 means 36 to 45% of Woolston's surface is covered by water. The fifth digit of 3 means Woolston has a population that numbers in the thousands. A little over 3,000, to be more precise. Some 90% of the population are Varga, and nearly the rest are human. The Varga are upright walking humanoids, with wolf and canine features and traits. The sixth digit of 3 means Woolston's government is classified as a self-perpetuating oligarchy. A hereditary dictatorship is a more accurate description of Woolston's government. The 7th digit of 8 means Woolston has a high law level. Practically all weapons and armor are banned. This makes sense. As a dictator, you would not want your citizens to be armed and run the risk of being overturned by them. As a dictator, you would have an ongoing propaganda program for why arms should be, and continue to be, outlawed. The 8th digit of 8 means Woolston is a tech level 8 world. The trade codes of LO and NI means that Woolston is a low population, non-industrialized world. Woolston does not have the funds to exploit any potential resources on the planet. Dictator Masterton is negotiating with a few imperial corporations with a view to licensing mining and other economic installations in remote areas of the planet. However, he is insisting on ridiculously high licensing fees, which is irritating his counterparties. Displayed on the screen is the 20-sided polyhedral map of planet Woolston. For comparison purposes, displayed now on the screen is the 20-sided polyhedral map of present-day planet Earth. Woolston's orbit lies on the fringe of its star's habitable zone. It is not an inviting world. It is rather dry, and thanks to its thin atmosphere, it has highly variable temperatures. During the day, it does not get excessively warm. At night, the temperature plummets to well below 0 Celsius, freezing the surfaces of most of Woolston's waters and seas. The only area that is inhabited is Settlement Island. Even though the Varga make up the vast majority of the population, they are considered as second-class citizens. Off-world Varga tend to become offended by this. Yet, most of the people of Woolston live slow, comfortable, unambitious lives, and get along well enough. Woolston has a mainly subsistence economy based on conventional farming and agriculture, and on shallow water, seabed farming off the island's ice-free western coast. What manufacturing there is operates as what are effectively cottage industries in the 3 main settlements. Most buildings and homes are blocky, with rounded corners and sunk into the ground, rather than built upwards. Woolston's inhabitants keep their indoor temperatures quite warm. When indoors, they tend to wear light clothing. A kilt and a light shirt or tunic are the most common dress for both sexes. The Varga tend to wear more colourful outfits than the humans. Woolston's starport and capital lies more on the central part of Settlement Island. Woolston's starport is located in Startown. The starport employs a few dozen people and brings in a modest income from passing vessels, crews stopping over, and so forth. Spaceships come through fairly regularly, sometimes 2 or more in a single day. When the travellers first passed through passport control, as a game master, I would have filter masks and thick clothing available for sale at a big markup at stores situated just after passport control. When the travellers learn that the Highndry is not berthed at the starport, they then can start asking around for its whereabouts. Pretty much anyone in town will suggest asking at the Port Authority office, as well as learning that its former crew were a bunch of jerks. At the Port Authority office, the travellers will learn that the ship is still on Woolston and has been chartered to the world government of Woolston. Although the planet has a perfectly good communications net, the government will not release any information unless the travellers go to the capital in person and meet with a government official. Meaning, the travellers will need to travel to Central Lake, the capital of Woolston, in order to learn more. At Central Lake, the dictator's palace and government offices lie near the centre of town. Keep in mind, Woolston has a small population. The reception desk at the government offices is usually manned most of the time, but does not have a full-time receptionist. Travellers might be stunned by this. In fact, employees of Woolston's government each have multiple jobs and are overworked. Eventually, Minister Alan Greener will meet with the travellers. Once an agreement is reached, Minister Greener will inform the travellers that the Highndry is in the caldera of Mount Salburii. The next task for the travellers is to climb Mount Salburii. The mountain is a little over 1,500 meters above sea level. Due to the already thin atmosphere, climbing it will be challenging, with the danger of altitude sickness, and with the very real possibility of a few travelers perishing. The adventure splits the climb into 7 subsections, and is, basically, a rock climbing simulation. 3/4 of the way up, the travelers will find the grisly remains of 2 mountain climbers. Overall, players will find the whole mountain climbing section of the adventure to be long, tedious, and not fun. If the travelers have filter masks, respirators, thick clothing, and had the foresight of getting rock climbing equipment, then, as a game master, I would condense this section to only a few minutes of gameplay, and not make the climb too challenging. The Highndry is parked in the middle of an island, in the middle of a crater lake, in the cauldron of Mount Salburii. The crater lake is 200 meters below the mountain top lip of Mount Salburii. When the travelers reach the Highndry, they will encounter the former crew's abandoned, starving, and now aggressive pet, Adenture's wolf. If given food and treated kindly, the Adenture's wolf can become the new pet of the travelers. When the travelers reach and get inside the Highndry, they will realize that the former crew has stripped the ship of anything that is valuable and carryable at the same time. However, once the replacement control electronics have been installed, the ship is functional and flyable. Before the travelers make their first test flight, a tremor will be felt. Just when they initiate their test flight, the volcano begins to erupt. The volcano's tremors can be felt all the way to the town of Salburii. Its smoke and eventual eruption can also be seen by the folk at Salburii. The volcano's lava and pyroclastic flows will wipe out the village of Barvin. Will the travelers survive Mount Salburii's eruption? Will they manage to save at least a few people, and hence be considered as heroes to the people of Woolston? Or will they risk everything and manage to save everyone? Well, that depends on your group of players. Hopefully, they will not turn out to be just like the former crew of the Highndry. 4 new creatures make their debut to Traveller in this adventure. They are the Alderson's Coastal Hunter, the Deep Water Bracar, the Woolston, and the Adenture's Wolf. Alderson's Coastal Hunter and the Deep Water Bracar are the only 2 seagoing animals that pose any real threat to humans. The territorial Alderson's Coastal Hunter normally hunts by either surging from cover to grab small prey, or by entangling larger invertebrates with its tail. The more dangerous deep-water bracar prefer much deeper and colder waters, and are rarely sighted near Settlement Island. The rabbit-sized Woolstons are land-dwelling, fairly harmless, egg-laying burrowers. They are kept as pets by many families on Woolston. They are sociable and loyal beasts. Woolstons are vegetarian and easy to care for. The Adenture's wolf is an omnivore, the size of a large dog, and similar in temperament. Under normal conditions, they make reliable guard animals and companions. Roll credits. Displayed are the credits found within the adventure itself. Highndry is the perfect introductory adventure for Traveller, full of exploration, character interaction, and a truly explosive finale. It does a fantastic job of showcasing what Traveller's strengths are. There are plenty of challenges for the Travelers to face. The adventure can also be run without any combat whatsoever. However, as a game master, I would suggest to add an antagonist or 2. If you have any ideas on how to make this adventure even better, please share them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, from all of us at the RPGmodsFan Spaceship.